Stop playing with them.
Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross. Welcome to my podcast. This is where we talk about entrepreneurship, digital marketing, being a digital nomad, and much, much more. I really hope you enjoy the show. So in my last post, entitled Undone on Purpose, if you want to go and read it on the blog, I wrote openly about thinking of maybe stepping back, about the possibility of semi-retiring, of painting and travelling more, and only working with a few mentoring clients when it felt good. And I meant every word. After decades of pushing, building and navigating the intensity of entrepreneurial life, the idea of slowing down felt not only appealing, but somewhat necessary. But then, as I sat with the idea for another week, answering the nice emails and messages that the post generated, and reading people's stories who resonated with what I'd written, something shifted. As I imagined what my life would be like pulling back, of closing the laptop and walking away from most of it, the one thing I kept thinking about was my book, A Better Entrepreneur. This book and the app, the body of work, felt unfinished and frankly too important to be quietly shelved. This isn't just another business book, it's the work I'm most proud of, after the Money Gym and the Acacia Hotel, of course, and my kids. A Better Entrepreneur deals with the psychological journey of entrepreneurship in ways I haven't seen written about elsewhere. The self-doubt, the constant search for answers to the challenges, the required resilience, the courage to change who you are in order to build something that truly fits. It's the work of someone who's lived through it, not theorised it. Selling books is hard, though. Unless you have a monstrous social media following or you fit the current agenda being pushed, like Gary Stevenson, who clearly knows nothing about economics but shouts about taxing the rich every day. Unless you spend every hour shouting into the void, it feels like a slog. I didn't want to play that game. So I turned the book into a podcast and now an app, and I keep searching for a way to get the contents out into the world. Because the truth is, I couldn't leave it behind. I couldn't abandon this poor little book full of stories and lessons and deeply earned wisdom just because the medium wasn't working. I had to find another way. One that suited me and one that would actually reach the people who needed it. Here's something I've learned when you're wrestling with a big decision. The best way to know if it's the right one is to imagine you've already made it. How does that version of your life feel? When I imagined retiring, painting, travelling, pottering about, but having left this work behind, it felt wrong. Not just uncomfortable, but deeply off, like I'd walked away from something important just before it had a chance to do what it was meant to do. As I sat and let things percolate, I realised that I could turn the contents into a mini course. People seem to love consuming content in bite-sized pieces. People also love free content. So I'm going back to my roots, where I actually wrote the first book I'm really proud of, The Money Gym, in instalments, designed to be sent out over 101 days. People opted in, then got these 101 days of emails along with my weekly newsletter, and then eventually some of them became clients. Because when you've done work that you're truly proud of, you owe it something. You don't have a baby and then leave it to fend for itself, do you? You owe it your energy, your voice, your belief. You owe it enough oxygen to let it live and breathe in the world, enough time to grow legs to stand on, even if the first ones buckle a couple of times. Just because something doesn't catch fire right away doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to burn bright. And if the work still pulls at you, still whispers that it has more to give, you don't walk away, you dig in. Turning the lessons in the book into a course, then publishing the course freely online piece by piece might help get the word out. Writing it out loud, speaking it into the podcast, creating content with deep meaning for people who are standing where I once stood, ignorant of how the world of business works, overwhelmed, full of ideas, sitting on things they know or have learnt and want to share, but unsure where to start. Who are certain there's something more, but not sure how to find it. Because I feel the need to start a movement, one that helps people build the right mindset to survive and thrive in what's coming in our financial system. A shift in how we think, work, and create value. So that's why, starting this week on the blog and my Substack, I'm going to start sharing A Better Entrepreneur Blueprint. A free open course to help you become more entrepreneurial, to help you adapt to the new world that's coming. To learn how to think and act differently, more independently, more like an entrepreneur before the world finishes turning upside down. This isn't a sales funnel, it's a lifeline. For you, maybe. And for me, definitely. A reason to get up in the morning, a reason to stay on, because sometimes the work we almost leave behind is the work we're actually here to do. I'll tell you more next week. But make sure, in the meantime, you're subscribed to my newsletter over at nicolacairnext.com or my Substack, nicolacairncross.substack.com. And I hope I've given you something to think about this week. You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross of nicolacairnext.com. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show today. We've got lots of resources on the website, so do come over to check them out. And by all means, feel free to book yourself into my diary at nicolacairnext.com/diary. I love to talk to entrepreneurs.